As you all stand around, Velynia, Moa'Kee, Millie, with your newfound ally, Luthien Graves, I would
Thank you for
like
not saying friend. He's not our friend.
I would like the three of you to make a quick perception check.
That we can do.
So we're going to get right into the game proper.
Yes.
Wow. Just hopping right in there.
Oh, well, starting in hot. I got a 12. Terrible. Terrible.
I am looking for the high value here.
17.
17, and Millie?
Magnificent. It's 16 for me.
Moa'Kee, as you see the first stirring of movement from this painted dragon mural on this wall at the intersection where in the physical world, where I set my book aside and I forgot the intersection.
You're referring to Water Street and Main Street?
Yes, the intersection of Water Street and Main Street, which you've learned in this painted world. Directions mean little because you could walk through the marketplace and then be at the White Deer, turn the corner and be at the Rusty Dragon here. But it is you, Moa'Kee, who notices as this dragon begins moving, you hear a sound like rapid strokes of a paintbrush on dry canvas. And looking amongst your group of friends, you notice that the painted forms of Natalin and Lumi are standing among you all. They're slightly behind Velynia and Millie, perhaps why they didn't notice. And
to look at.
Lumi and Natalin, you inexplicably find yourself in a painted world, a painted version of Sandpoint. If you look too closely at any of the buildings or the night sky, you will notice that it doesn't quite hold up to scrutiny from the world you know. You can see brushstrokes. In some places you can see the thick daubs of paint applied with a palette knife. Looking into the sky to the north, you can see the luminescent blue glow of the Sandpoint Cathedral. In this world, the cathedral is engulfed in an eerie blue arcane aura that from some perceptions appears almost like flames. You also can see in that direction the painted visage of Nualia as she existed 17 years ago. You can see the painted figures of multi-limbed creatures moving in the distance, scooping up denizens of Sandpoint. And you see your allies standing out amidst the paintings. Velynia, Millie, and Moa'Kee all appear as you would expect them to appear in the physical world. But looking at your own hands, your own weapons, your own skin, you see the similar detailed, yet you can still see brushstrokes and bright colors of paint. And you find that you are all standing in front of a mural depicting a massive red dragon. There's a figure still painted on the wall, not moving, but looking back at all of you, that looks similar, but different enough that you know it's a different person, to Moa'Kee. And you might also notice that Moa'Kee holds in his hand a painted sword that looks very similar to the sword that he keeps tied to his back. So now that I've painted the scene, if you will.
Moa, ha 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 ha. Moa looks at this dragon as it starts to come out, looks at everyone, shocked by the all of a sudden he's like Lumi's there and everyone else is there, and he just says run.
The
That's
mural
a dragon. Pork chop, pork chop.
Pork chop, pork chop, pork chop, and Velynia goes like an anime character, like just a cloud of dust behind.
The mural trembles. Lines of crimson ink ripple across the stone, shuddering as if the very wall is gasping for breath. The painted red dragon peels away from the alley wall in a slow, agonizing stretch, its body warping and twisting as it breaks free, as if breaking free from an ancient prison. Paint drips like blood from its massive wings, curling into the air and hardening into reality. Its eyes, once flat, lifeless smears of black, flare to life, burning with an unnatural molten hunger. With a sound like shredding canvas, the dragon tears itself free. Its enormous body swells outward, shifting from a two-dimensional nightmare into a fully formed, impossible horror. Its scales glisten like wet ink, still shifting and unfurling from the artwork that once held it. Clawed feet smash against the cobblestones, cracking them apart as its serpentine neck coils upward. Its head jerks forward, twisting and incomplete for a fleeting moment, half smear, half monstrosity, before the details sharpen. A row of jagged obsidian fangs emerge from its inky maw, glistening with wet, fresh pigment. Twin orbs of molten black and red burn in the center of its eyes, filled with something far worse than hunger. Recognition as it stares directly at Moa'Kee. With a sound like shattering glass and tearing parchment, its wings snap open. The force of their unfurling splits the air apart, sending a violent shockwave down the street. Windows explode, signs twist and warp. The very ground beneath your feet trembles with the weight of its awakening. The dragon lets out a slow, low growl, a sound so deep it seems to vibrate inside your bones. Then, in a single thunderous beat of its wings, the beast ascends. It doesn't simply rise, it rips itself from the earth, leaving behind smears of red mist that linger in the air like ghostly brushstrokes. The sky above warps and distorts as it climbs, leaving streaks of crimson in its wake, like a painter dragging a dripping brush across the heavens. And then it stops. Hanging above you like a living apocalypse, the dragon's massive form blots out the sky. The storm of its creation still rages around it. Paint bleeding, buildings bending, shadows stretching unnaturally. And it's staring right at you. As, apparently, you all have begun to run.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
the heat
Potato.
scatter.
So,
Look, man, that was great, Jake. That was fantastic. But we were dust running,
no, I was
like
gone.
when it was still trying
is
to
for the
rip itself out
theatrical-
So-
of the wall.
It's
Like,
the theatrical audience. Yeah.
at this point, Luthien Graves steps back in terror. He catches his breath, and his face, previously composed, even smug, twists in sheer terror. His lips part, but no sound comes out at first. His hands clench into fists, trembling. And then, with all the force of a man who knows death is coming, he screams, "Run!" And then he turns and he sees that he is the only one standing on the street corner. As he beats feet.
Mm-hmm. Hell of an idea.
Listen, I know you guys interrupted me to run, but I wasn't going to not give you the cinematic description of the dragon rising into the air, as we are going to begin a chase encounter.
Ooh, chase encounter. This
So-
is new. Welcome to Mini Terrain Domain, everyone, where we're learning how to play Pathfinder 2e.
This is going to be my first time running a chase encounter. The way this is going to work is you guys are going to begin at, well, you began running. So we're going to start with all of you, and you basically need to complete a certain number of chase obstacles before the dragon reaches you. And I have a roll table for that, which will have the corresponding checks that will coincide with that. So as you all begin running through the warped, twisted, and bending streets of the painted Sandpoint, it's at this point, as you start running, Velynia and Millie, you notice Natalin and Lumi in painted form are in your midst.
Oh,
Super happy to see them, not caring right now. Millie's
yeah,
focused on running.
yeah.
So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to let you determine who's going to roll first, but you're going to roll a d20 on my d20 chase obstacles tables, and you're going to have to deal as a group with the obstacle. I think what we'll
Do
do...
we get to know the obstacle ahead of time, or?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you the obstacle when you roll it.
Okay.
Great.
So basically what I mean is one of you is going to roll on the d20 table. As a group, you're going to overcome the obstacle, or attempt to. And then I will make a check for the dragon to see if it gains a... we're basically going to be... each the dragon and you as a group are going to be earning chase points in an attempt to beat the chase sequence.
Gotcha.
Does that all make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying the most points wins the game? I'm very familiar with this concept.
So,
I love
yes.
it.
So
Do we
it's
get double points though if we attach our mile? I'm just kidding.
I thought it was a golf system
There-
where less points wins.
No,
Trying to beat
no,
par,
no.
right?
It's a good
there is a
question.
situation in which you in which you do gain double points.
Ooh.
Your goal is to get 5 chase points before the dragon gets 5 chase points.
Nice. Love it.
So that's going to basically, theoretically, it's going to allow for each of you to earn, on your roll, to earn a point. However, there are certain failures that will cause you to lose progress.
I'll go first.
So,
Is there like a combo multiplier like in Guitar Hero?
That's a great question. Damn it.
good question. The answer
That's
is no.
exponential growth.
Or is it geometric?
Both. It depends on if you're talking about sequences or functions, of course. Anyway, I'll go first.
Is it
I
discrete or
am
continuous data? Wow.
God
Nerds.
damn you. You've been sorely missed.
All right, roll a d20, Cari.
Down. Let's go. Let's fucking do this, bro. Yes! Is it just a non-modified at all?
Straight up d20.
15.
As as you are running along these streets, already you can see where some of the buildings around you in this dragon's painted aura, they seem to almost like the paint is melting off canvas. You notice above you on either side of the road you are running down, atop some of these buildings, you don't remember anywhere within the city proper of Sandpoint really having a lot of gargoyles, but they're here on the rooftops of this painted version of Sandpoint, and these painted gargoyles begin to peel away from the walls and start diving to attack. I need each of you to choose if you're going to try to dodge them, attack them, or sneak past them, or some other creative thing that you come up with. But each of you is going to attempt to make a check associated with what you are doing.
Can we can choose independently, like we don't have to choose as a
Each
entire,
one
like,
of
all
you
us?
is going to choose which action you are going to do independently.
Okay.
It's the success is determined on how many of you succeed.
So anyways, I start blasting.
Trash man.
So you choose to attack.
I'm choosing to sneak.
Okay, so go ahead and make an attack roll. Millie, stealth roll for Velynia. What are the others doing?
Lumi will be ducking and dodging.
Okay, so you are going to be making a reflex check.
Oh.
So
Natural 20, baby.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, let's go. Check it off on the bingo
okay,
card,
mine's
everyone.
not as good as that,
31.
but it was a 19. So
It's pretty damn good.
but 29 altogether.
Okay. Hold on, I need to...
I like to imagine this is like very like everybody's like running and somebody like hides under an overhang and then somebody like jumps and acrobaties.
Yeah, so...
It's cool.
We get to add our modifier to the check that we just did, right?
Yeah, whatever
Yes,
it is
yes,
you're
yes.
doing, you get your normal modifiers. It's just the d20 roll to determine the obstacle.
Okay.
So
Like-
once we resolve the mechanics of this, then you can we'll kind of narrate through what happens as we shift over to the dragon's turn. Let's see.
While Jake is checking his tables, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great apparel, like the one I'm wearing, and so many others. We can get our logos for this game, for your fantasy games, or for our Kids on Bikes games. You can get them on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and all kinds of other great stuff. Teespring.com. Just click the link in the description for this video.
Lumi, what did you get?
Enough.
A natural 20 for a total of 31.
Oh,
Okay.
Lumi is a parkour
And-
expert. It's like the new Assassin's Creed game, Lumi. It
She's
is.
Millie
just like
got a
kind of,
29.
she's ducking and dodging, and she's like, "My doesn't what a weird dream this is."
I feel that the peril is real for some reason.
And Natalin, what were you doing? Reflex, you're dodging?
Yeah, I was dodging. Not nearly as well. I think I'm still trying to acclimatize to what the F is going on.
So, as a whole, you had 2 critical successes, 1 critical fail, and 2 regular successes. Or sorry, one regular success, 1 critical fail, 1 regular fail, and 2 critical fails. So, as a whole, you critically succeed in this part of the encounter, gaining 2 chase points. So
We had only 1 success of any kind in that bunch.
you had
No,
2
no,
critical
Jake misspoke.
successes,
Okay, I'm
1
sorry.
regular success,
Sorry,
1 fail, and 1 crit fail.
I apologize.
So yeah, Moa'Kee,
Yeah.
what does that look like? You're dodging through, and you just critically fail in your attack.
I almost feel like as I yelled run, I was looking back to make sure everyone was running, and that as the gargoyles were coming down, I just see a spot on the ground in the paint, just this cobblestone, that was where a young Moa'Kee was standing when the dragon killed his father.
Oh.
I think I'm going to take it a step further.
Okay.
You see in translucent paints a ghostly image of your young self. And that is why these gargoyles swoop past, raking their claws across you. You take 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, you take 16 points of slashing damage because you critically failed.
That's
Natalin, you are also going to take 8 points of slashing damage as You are struggling to dodge out, possibly disoriented from your sudden appearance here, and maybe a little bit Moa'Kee's getting in your way. It's just stopping suddenly in the path in front. Millie, you are blasting away. What are you shooting at these things with?
Telekinetic projectiles. She's picking up smaller barrels and whatnot and just hurling them at things.
I almost imagine as you grab at the shapes of paint, you just think barrels and the paint becomes barrels. It becomes these things as you use magical jazz hands.
I refuse to believe that Millie doesn't go, ha, every time she does it, just to add to the spectacle.
Velynia, you are almost blending in to the shadows, the darker paints in this alleyway. Every time a gargoyle flies past, it doesn't even see you.
Right.
Can
I add one little cool thing?
Absolutely.
I want to be cool, and this is one of my better rolls in a minute. I think Velynia, like if there's like ever like a canopy or something, if the thing is flying over, Velynia like wall runs, so she's like right up underneath the canopy almost, and it like just seems to miss seeing her like over and over and over again.
I picture one of these almost like it's chasing behind where you were. As you run through one of these market stalls, you wall run, grabbing up, and you're grabbing the braces, holding up on the ceiling of it, as this gargoyle swoops in under, and is just... and then just flies away before you drop down again. Mm-hmm. Leaving Lumi, you were... What were you doing again? Were you also dodging?
Ducking and dodging.
So you also critically succeeded. Your painted form seems to add to your ability to dodge out of the way. You're finding that it's easy to maneuver in and alongside things that match your color scheme as these paints are blending, and almost to the effect that as a gargoyle would maybe make a swipe at you, you dodge out of the way, and it's the banister on a set of stairs that was painted in shades of your same coloring, and it attacks that instead. Behind you all, you hear the roar of the painted red dragon.
Are we all just on the edge of our seats waiting for
Sorry.
Jake to roll that die?
I am going to roll.
Yep.
I am.
That
Oh,
rolled
God,
over to a
no.
17.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's Moa'Kee's fault.
Moa'Kee's fault.
So the dragon is going to only gain 1. I'm just doing the math here real quick. So that was... Well, no, that's 10. That's 10 above what it needs. So the dragon is keeping pace with you all. You have both earned 2 chase points. As the dragon, as it swoops its wings, you just see behind it, trailing behind it, in the same way an artist might drag their paintbrush to depict motion and speed. You see those red streaks behind it. Who's going to roll a d20 next?
Not it. I got us gargoyles.
I'll do it.
Re-roll if you get a 15.
Well, I got a 14, so we get to stick with that.
You all turn the corner, and as you begin running up this street, you feel the texture of the cobblestone and sand beneath your feet changing. It begins to shift and almost pull out from underneath you, and you begin to sink into it as you look around and you realize you are no longer running on a street of Sandpoint. Your street has become a river of paint and ink and debris. Your checks this round are to attempt to ride on floating debris, attempt to swim along the river, or you can attempt to let the currents, choose the currents, and basically you're going to read the currents and try to follow the flow along and move along with it. So that would be either, sorry, go ahead, Cari.
I was just gonna guess acrobatics, athletics, or
Nature.
nature. Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be an acrobatics check to try to hop onto debris and ride it, athletics to swim, or nature to try and read the currents, or if you can make an argument for another clever solution, I will hear that.
Jake?
Yes.
I don't know if it's another clever solution, but after potentially jumping onto a thing, is it possible for Moa'Kee to do something different and unusual?
Well, if you're going to attempt to jump onto something, that would be the action.
So
you can attempt to do something different and unusual.
So basically, it's not related to the situation. So more or less, Moa'Kee would just ride the waves while he's doing this and let luck determine. Because the idea is Moa'Kee wanted to pull out a wand and concentrate that to be a paintbrush and paint around the painted sword he has to make it magical.
That's a lot.
Being an inventor that he is.
So if you want to do that and just let the river take you,
Yeah.
you can basically fail your check.
Okay.
I'll let you do that, and then you will get whatever the failure action or consequence is.
And he just he's turning his wand into a paintbrush, writing runes all over the sword. Frost runes.
I picture it almost like you're deliberately slowing down as this dragon is gaining the street in the same way as if you were standing in a river. What was the street? These colors of browns and grays and whites are just sloshing past you, pushing you along a little bit as you do this, and then at a certain point you just sort of get taken by the current.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, to clear this up so the chat isn't bogged, I re-rolled my roll with one domain die, and ultimately I ended up with a 19.
Okay.
I also used the domain die to re-roll my horrendous roll.
Okay. Let me fix the domain. Anybody else use domain dice?
Dude,
I'm letting mine ride.
Reroll?
Kaeryn, you still have an option.
Mm-hmm.
Said your roll
I know
out loud.
mine's a failure, but I'm gonna let it ride because failure's part of the game.
God bless. Good for you.
All right,
Good for
hold.
you.
Okay. So I got two domain dice used. I've got Lumi. What was your new roll?
22 on acrobatics for Lumi to hop about on the debris and find a path forward.
Velynia, what are you attempting to do with your 19?
The same thing. I'm essentially like doing a moose
Millie?
bar, like hopping on the.
Okay.
I rolled a 13 on my athletics. She thought she was gonna try to swim, and I don't think that's actually happening.
And Natalin, what are you attempting to do?
I was attempting to go with the flow with the water because water is one of my elements, but I forgot I'm a paint person, and so
Well, yes.
that
The water is paint, though.
it
Yeah.
is.
Paint water.
I wasn't
paintbrush
expecting to be
water.
a paint person, and I'm losing myself in it. I rolled a crit. I got in that one. So,
Oh, dang it. Oh, well.
Okay. So, On this one, go ahead. I'll tell you whether you succeeded or failed. We know Moa took the failure and is just going with the flow. Natalin is attempting to follow the current to get to the exit, and Millie was trying to swim. Lumi and Velynia were attempting to ride on objects. Lumi, you are the only one that succeeded in this round. And there was one critical failure. So this will ultimately result in a failure for the group. But go ahead and each of you narrate what this looks like with now that you know whether you succeeded or failed.
I think I know what. So the reason I failed is because I'm seeing like Lumi bounce, kind of up ahead of me because she's pretty fast. And I am suddenly, like, I have this thought cross into my mind, like, what if she falls in? Because she's made of paint. And as that realization, like, hits, oh no, Velynia slips and, like, almost, like, falls, like, halfway off of this thing and is, like, struggling to get back up onto the little, like, floating piece of debris.
Yeah, Lumi is hopping from piece of debris to piece of debris. I imagine that she's like over her shoulder. She's like calling out to Velynia, like, "Oh, this way, over here." Before like she sees that you slip, and this is almost like when she realizes that in this dream, it seems that Velynia and Lumi haven't quite had our conversation yet. And she kind of just pauses for a moment, seeing you fall into the stuff, and she's like, "Oh, no, this can't be real." And she like starts pinching herself.
Velynia has a bad habit of dying in Lumi dreams anyway, so one of those.
You're like I'm gonna be 3 for 3 at this point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is not good, math.
I'll keep mine very short and sweet. We turn the corner, suddenly ink tsunami. Much like the Spanish Inquisition, Millie was not expecting it. So
Yeah, and to go off that, I think also not expecting that. Natalin was also not expecting that. We're trying to, go with the flow with the river as well. Realizing this is not actually water. I'm not actually going with the flow very well. I'm in fact panicking and trying to fight it, and hence look terribly out of my element as I'm potentially like not swimming very well. Look like she's struggling, and probably also because like when you're in a dream and you try to do something and you can't because you try to run but you're really slow. I think she's having that kind of feeling as well. She's trying to swim and she can't, and instead it's hitting over instead. And yeah,
It's tough.
So, all of you that failed have to take extra effort to get out of the river, which means you gain no movement
Ugh, dang it.
in this round because only one of you succeeded, and with all the failures, but at the end of it, Moa, you did turn the painted sword into a magic weapon, painting these runes upon it. I'm going to roll for the dragon.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Time out. Freeze. We can make him re-roll, can't we?
You have to spend
5
to change the success level.
Now, is that a critical success?
Yes, I believe it is. Because you rolled a 17 last time, and it was a critical success last time.
Okay, so this is gonna be another crit, another 2 points that the dragon gets on us.
When
Correct.
we get 0.
When we get 0, we can
Do we
spend
want to
5
just
to turn.
let this one? Let's let this one stand.
What, we have
and
like what
then-
40 domain dice though. Come on, we
Right
gotta use
now,
them at some
the
point.
dragon is at 4 successes,
Yeah,
and you are at 2 successes. 2
I
chase
vote.
points.
I vote.
Vote for what?
Yeah,
Vote to
for
use.
what?
Vote to use.
He's still getting 1. What's the difference? Like,
1.
like if we change the outcome, we only make it a regular success. We don't
That's
make it a
true.
failure. So they're still getting 1. What's the difference between 1 or 2?
That's a good point.
I think. Well, because
I don't think it's. I personally don't think it's a $25 difference. But hey, you know,
No,
No,
Tamiko's
that's-
right because Tamiko's right because we're racing to 5, so it doesn't
Yep.
really matter if he gets 2 on the next one, it's over. If he gets 1 on the next one, it's over. But
Yeah.
no,
And to be
yeah.
clear,
We just have to be good.
the dragon getting a 5 means he catches up to you. It doesn't mean
Sure.
you're all dead. Well,
Okay.
yet.
No, let's not. He can't do that again.
Okay.
He's not gonna fucking do that again. I'm manifesting it. I'm
Why-
manifesting
why?
it now.
why
Fucking go.
would you do that, Cari? Why would you do that to us?
No, listen, it's not going to happen. There's no need to worry. I'm manifesting that it won't happen. No more crits for him. It's not gonna happen. Watch.
Somebody new needs to roll on the D20 table.
I will.
Do it.
Go for it. Go for it.
It's gonna be a come from behind victory, team. Don't call it a comeback.
1.
Yes, that's gonna be a piddly little bullshit. I know it.
So now is the point where I tell you that the front and back side of this D20 table are loaded with the worst obstacles.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. We'll be fine.
So as you are all preparing to either as you all let the current take you to this new street, as the dragon roars overhead, and it looks like it's moving in a position where it's going to attempt to block your path, land, and engage with you. Some of you, well, one of you, Lumi, you ride the obstacles, leaping from obstacle to obstacle until you find solid ground and land safely on the solid ground. The rest of you, either the current takes you or you haphazardly swim towards this now solid street, climbing out, dripping with wet paint. You continue running down this new street. It does look like the Sandpoint Cathedral is getting closer. When the street begins to collapse around you, the ground tearing open with that sound of ripping canvas, revealing that same inky black void that you saw inside the maw of the Miro Mimic. You need to either attempt to leap across where the street is tearing, or attempt to balance along the edge to prevent yourself from falling into...
So both reflex
Nope.
related items?
One is athletics, one is acrobatics. You can always come up with a creative option as well. You have spells and other skills that you may want to employ.
Fuck yes, dude. Okay. Whew, that was a good one. Oh my god. I got a 27, and Velynia's just fucking long jumping this.
All right.
Jake, is this as you said, the void, the streets? It's not a muzzle or anything like that, or a mouth.
Nope.
Okay.
No, it looks like canvas is literally ripping apart, and the street is collapsing into this void.
You know, a mend spell would be really cool right now. Don't have it. Shoot.
I was about to say, do you have one? Because I fucking don't.
Yep. Don't
It's on
have
you,
it.
buddy.
Don't have it. Do not have it. All right, let's make this roll.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. Come on now. Fucking be somebody, Jay. Let's go. I say
22.
that as an endearment.
22 acrobatics.
Lumi is the only one who failed. Everybody else
I saved
succeeded
her. I want her to go back.
in either leaping or balancing. Some of you just, Millie, succeeding. As the dragon roars overhead and painted debris of buildings start collapsing into this open maw, Lumi, as you prepared to attempt either a jump or balance, the piece of ground you were standing on gives way beneath you. I need you to make a reflex save to grab onto the edge of the canvas.
She screams and yips as she begins to tumble.
Can I reflex save and help?
She gets a 25 on reflex to try to catch herself.
Can
Velynia,
I let me be a strong, independent young woman?
as you are reaching out to help Lumi, Lumi just grabs hold of the edge of the canvas. And
She's
it
like,
literally
"Oh,
feels like canvas and kind of curls in with your claws dig into it. And you're able to reach up and take aid from Velynia. Because 4 of you succeeded, you'll gain a chase point. There were no critical failures and no critical successes.
Let's go.
I'm going to try something. I bought in Canada, the first time ever, I bought these tiny dice. These, like, I don't know, they're like 10 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Pink and black. They favor you.
Yes,
Um,
fuck you.
They do not favor me. Are they capable? Oh, no. I'm just trying to see if I can roll anything higher than a 4. I
I
rolled...
think this is probably so bad that he loses a point.
Well, it is a critical fail. Because I rolled a 1, I rolled a 4, I rolled a 3, then I rolled a 17. So I wanted to see if those dice would be different than the on-screen roller, which... Yeah, they were more favorable to you in this case. In which case, he loses a point. That is the critical failure loses you a chase point. That is per the GM core rules. So you are now neck and neck.
Oh my god, we're 3-3, folks. We are 3-3. Let's go.
I need a new... It's going to be Jay or Tamiko rolling on the D20.
Do it up, Jay.
All right, let's do this bad boy. A 2. 2. Simply a 2.
Simply the best.
As you are rescuing yourself and each other from this tearing street, heading ever closer to the Sandpoint Cathedral, the dragon, now directly overhead, almost angered and roaring at the fact that you didn't all fall into the collapsing street. You watch as brilliant yellow and orange swirls of paint erupt from its mouth, and the dragon paints flames across the streets you are running down. You now need to attempt to either make a fortitude save to withstand the heat, or roll survival to try to find a safe path through the flames, or if you can come up with another creative option.
Would an
Reflex
acrobatics
save?
or reflex save to dodge out of the way?
To dodge out of the way.
At this point, reflex save is the only fucking good thing I have.
Like to baseball slide under them.
Otherwise, if that's not okay, I'll go fortitude because it's still fucking better than my other skill check.
What are your skills that I mean?
Oh, I'm
got, like,
sorry. Are you
religion
asking how do I suck so badly? Let me see. Anything that has to do with physicality, the best I can give you is a +6, except for my saving throws, which are +9s. For reflex, at least. All of my stuff is, what is it? My high
Spell
ones
and
are
support.
diplomacy and intimidation, and then medicine. This is not Millie's challenge.
Mm-hmm. This is a team challenge. Did we ever get a verdict on the
So
reflex?
I'm not going to say you can't roll with. You can't roll a reflex check. I will allow that because you are gonna. You're essentially trying to dodge around these. I'll allow it.
If this were like an old school Sega Genesis game, it would be going like.
Now, let me ask you this. Are
Or
you
like-
gradually increasing the DCs on things?
Well, now you're asking me to reveal my tricks. No, I haven't. It's been a steady. The encounter has a DC.
Okay.
So I have not been
I
increasing the
think
DC.
it's a 20. I think it's a 20.
Jake, I'd like to burn a domain dice, please.
I actually basically told you the DC last round without telling you the DC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's one domain die burned by Lumi.
One burned by Moa.
Okay. Burned.
Nah.
So
Hopefully not.
Lumi, what'd you end up getting?
26 on that fortitude.
Had a kid. Let's
26
go.
on fortitude.
Fucking
Natalin?
do this, dude.
27 on fortitude.
She's water based. Of course she is. If Pokemon
Yeah.
taught me anything, it's that Charizard is no match for Blastoise.
Exactly.
Velynia?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I got a 23 reflex. I think Velynia is like strategically like grabs a piece of debris and like blocks one and then frickin' keeps running and dodging and running and dodging.
And Millie, what'd you get? 21?
21 reflex.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Every single one of you succeeded.
Oh my god.
There were
let's
no
fucking
critical
go.
successes.
That's okay.
Because I don't use these very often, and they are new. This time I'm going to roll for the dragon using my cheese die. It's a D20
Cheese
that looks like a
die.
piece of cheese. So I can cheese this encounter. You guys react to my jokes the same way my kids do. Hashtag dad jokes.
Hashtag dad joke.
I do not believe this.
That's a nat 1, isn't it? That
I am
fucker's
sending
about to
a
lose.
picture to you guys. My beloved cheese dice that I've only rolled out of game have never once failed me.
Oh.
So I'm going to send this to the public.
The cheese text.
Sandpoint
the
chat.
cheese text. Come on. Come on. Internet, don't
Because
fail me now.
these dice have just rolled a natural one.
Yes! What? Yes! I manifested it. I manifested
You
it.
did. That means the dragon drops down to 2, and you guys are at 4. As
How quickly
basically,
the turntables.
basically, this dragon sends these gouts of flame down into the street with the confidence of a dragon that just burned all of its quarry. And as the flames recede, the dragon roars, looking around, trying to find where you all went.
Can I add something to that, Jake?
Always.
As Moa was dancing and kind of sliding between different debris as the fire was going.
Sorry, say that again. Say that again.
As Moa was kind of dancing and acrobatically going between different debris as the fire was kind of going and not getting hit, he saw the sword in his hand, the painted sword in his hand, and it was magical. And suddenly he was taken back for a second because he remembers the wounds that it caused him, and it caused him to stop to pause. And that's why he failed.
Okay. Wait.
And it's glowing. It's glowing very brightly.
Excellent. That leaves Tamiko. Rerolling a 1, 2, 14, or 15.
I'm gonna roll a 10 right in the middle.
This is a D20.
Yep.
15.
Reroll.
1.
Reroll.
Why don't you have somebody else do it? 2.
You are literally rolling every number we've already rolled.
I'm not in control of this, my
I know,
dude.
I know.
Owlbear Rodeo is
Roll again.
responsible for this nonsense. 12.
Let's say if you roll a freaking 14.
Perfect.
Okay.
If I had rolled a 14, I would have left right now to go get a lotto ticket. Like,
That's
And you
the
would have
lotto
played
ticket
1,
numbers,
2,
too.
14, 15, and what?
be
That was
like,
Jesus, I gotta go. I have
so
destiny
12.
to meet.
I'm sorry, 12. That's good, right?
Yes. It's the only one we haven't
It's,
gotten.
it's on the table somewhere.
As you can sense the streets are becoming wider. Some of the buildings start to look a little more familiar to those that are near the Sandpoint Cathedral, and you can actually see everything starting to take on that blue glow. But then you notice as you're rounding the corner, the colors begin to shift. The hues begin to change. And nothing appears as you would expect it to appear. All of your auras shift to the complementary color, or in some cases, to a clashing color. You have rolled shifting colors, where all of the world's colors have inverted, making perception difficult.
Oof.
Your primary checks are going to be perception in order to adjust to the change in color. Or you can attempt a crafting check, if you have the crafting skill, to correct the paint colors.
You're welcome, Jay.
Remarkable. Remarkable. Okay.
Or, as usual, if you can come up with something creative. Reflex won't save you in this case.
I got a 17 perception.
Velynia is struggling to make sense of this newly interpreted world through paint.
I'm orange. It's almost like it's like what did Tamiko say yellow was? Like joy and butter.
Joy and butter, and now I'm like
You-
blue.
Warm a color palette for me. I don't like it.
Moa's got his wand out and just kind of going crafta, 27 crafta.
Well, I'm glad
Helps that you have that
everyone's-
magic paintbrush now, right?
I'm glad that everyone's doing well because I rolled a 3 for a total of 12 on perception. As Lumi is very confused at what's going on right now.
Sorry, you got a what?
Total of 12.
Okay. So that's... Lumi, Velynia, and Millie, you all fail. As these colors are making it difficult to determine what is a pathway and what is a wall. What is the street and what is the front of a building. What is you would expect to be painted in the what you would expect to be light is now shadow, and vice versa. The three of you, or rather as a group, this causes you to become flat-footed, which
I don't know if I can be flat-footed, bud.
well, if you can't be flat-footed, then you can't be flat-footed. But in other cases,
So Lumi walks digitigrade like on the balls of her toes. So I don't think she can really be flat-footed, or else she'll be like another 6 inches shorter.
that leaves two successes, but one of them is a critical success.
Yes.
So that makes you have 3 failures and 3 successes. Regardless, you hit 5 chase points before the dragon. Even if the dragon critically succeeded right now,
Yes.
it would only get to 4.
Oh my god.
That die favors, which would be a critical success. Suddenly, the dragon comes roaring in your direction as all of you are stumbling with these new colors, and then as you come around the last corner and you realize you are on the pathway leading up the hill to the Sandpoint Cathedral, the blue magical aura around the cathedral pushes back. As you move into it, your own colors begin to shift back to normal. And as you run into the light and under this aura of the cathedral, the dragon spews forth oranges and yellows of this bright, flaming paint. And you see as it precedes itself, it momentarily vanishes as the dragon bursts through its own fireball. And it comes at you through this barrier, and as the dragon passes through the barrier, it dissipates into a red mist. And you are now safely on the grounds of the Sandpoint Cathedral. And the chase has ended. What would you like to do?
Velynia is breathing slowly but deeply. And she just kind of like stands straight and she looks over at Lumi and Natalin and just goes, "What are you two doing here?"
Lumi looks around. I don't know.
Oh. Where is here exactly?
I thought I was dreaming.
We're in a painting from that
Okay,
painter man.
in a nutshell, we got sucked into a painting. This is a dream where we need to find the painter and get the hell out.
It's Relma in Enderon. Do you remember him? He's the man that's always walking around with paint all over himself. He's went missing. His sister was looking for him. We went to his house. We got sucked into presumably his painting, and
Gosh, what were in my rations last night? Goodness.
Moa starts walking for the cathedral.
Moa, wait. We should have a plan.
Go to the cathedral. That's the plan. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm all for getting the fuck out of here too, but I prefer to not leave in a coffin. Do you mind? We should make a plan and think about what we might face in there.
We can
There's
face
something
anything.
else.
This is a dream. This is someone's horrid imagination.
And yet it seems to be affecting you quite adversely. I won't ask for details right now, but I will ask for temperance. There are other people to consider here, and we need to be safe.
Hey, while all this is going on, where's Homeboy? Did he follow
Yeah,
us?
where's our new cigarette pal? Where is he at?
As you look towards the edge of the where the blue light falls, you see this figure of Luthien Graves with his long coat kind of stumble through, and you see the dripping orange and yellow painted flames on his arm as he's going, whoa. Oh, that was a close one. You all, you're fast. Ooh, good idea to take off ahead and get away as quickly as possible. I wouldn't want us all to be bunched up. I assume you all split up and went different directions as well to confuse the dragon, yes?
Something like that. Luthien, you said you could give us a heads up about what's in the cathedral here. Any advice?
He looks up at the cathedral. Well, I'll be honest. I didn't think you were going to make it this far. I knew the Painter of Ruin is inside, and I know that he is waiting for you. Beyond that, I don't know much.
Very well. Is everyone as healthy as they can be?
I'm a bit singed on the arm, if anywhere so.
Asking you.
Well, as you did ask.
Well, I think we might be right. I think Moa'Kee, if you would like to lead the way, a time like the present, I suppose. I can't hear you. It's as though there's an enchantment on the steps of the cathedral right now.
He's kind of looking at his back for a second and realized that he's a little bit kind of cut up. And pulls out, I gotta double check. I think I got one of those little, pulls out a little healing potion. Minor. For a little upgrade. Okay. 7 points. All right, there we go. That helps.
All right.
Start walking towards it.
After you. And I pull my sword out. And then I follow him.
And I have this. Jake, would you like to know what kind of rune symbols I put on the sword?
Sure.
Turpentine.
Oh my god, there's a turpentine rune? Fuck off. That's awesome.
There isn't. But
well, there is now.
Inventor created a turpentine rune.
I'll allow it.
Fuck yeah.
So you're all heading into the cathedral.
Heading into the cathedral. Yep.
The heavy doors of the Sandpoint Cathedral, as you push them open, they slam open with a deafening crack. The air inside is thick with the stench of oil and turpentine. The acrid tang of paint mingling with the faint, sickly scent of burnt canvas. The grand sanctuaries, once places of worship, of solemn peace, look as though they have been defiled. This is not the Sandpoint Cathedral you know. The towering stained glass windows, once depicting the gods in their divine splendor, have bled together, their images twisting and warping, faces melted into grotesque, unrecognizable forms. Paint drips from the walls like fresh wounds, pooling onto the stone floor in unnatural puddles of deep reds, blacks, and blues. And at the center of all of this desecration stands the Painter of Ruin. Their form is draped in a flowing coat of tattered, shifting canvas, its colors bleeding and shifting with every movement. Their face, if they even have one, is obscured beneath a wide-brimmed, paint-streaked hat, the brim casting an unnatural shadow that seems to swallow the light. Their hands, long and spindly, clutch a dripping brush, its bristles wet with something darker, thicker than mere paint. Something alive. But it is the thing behind them that steals your attention. Relmar is bound upon a monstrous easel, a horrific perversion of a torture rack. Thick, stretched canvas writhes beneath him, its fibers rippling as though alive. Hungry, his body is already half-claimed. His legs and torso have begun to flatten, sinking into the fabric like a figure in a half-finished portrait. His skin is no longer flesh, but painted strokes, his outline soft and unreal, as though the world is already forgetting him. He thrashes weakly, his mouth open in a silent scream, but his voice has already been stolen by the canvas. His eyes, still human, still desperate, find yours. You see the pleading in them. The Painter of Ruin tilts their head, considering your arrival with an air of amusement. With a slow, deliberate stroke of their brush across the air, the walls begin to peel. Paint crawls from the murals like slithering tendrils. The shadows of figures trapped inside, writhing as if desperate to escape. The cathedral groans and its structure begins coming undone, melting into the nightmare. And then the Painter of Ruin finally speaks. Their voice is a whisper of scraping bristles, of pages torn from a book. You're too late. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Oh, God, Jesus. No. Fuck. That's a problem. Ooh, don't like him. Don't like him one bit.
We are going to take a short break, and then we'll come back for, well, what seems like it may be the final encounter of the Painted World, one way or another. We'll see you in a few minutes.
God damn.
As you stand there observing the scene, the Painter of Ruin lifts their dripping brush, the colors at its tip writhing like trapped souls. Their voice slithers through the air, dry as flaking paint, smooth as fresh ink. I was born of passion, of obsession. Dang it.
You were born
Hold
in
on.
the darkness.
I interrupted
Cool,
myself
Cari.
because I'm already seeing you guys making the jokes, and I see what I wrote. I'm just going to go with it. I was born of passion, of obsession, stroke by stroke. I took form from beneath trembling hands.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
In the fevered
From
grip,
beneath trembling hands. Go on, yes.
in the
Take what it
fevered grip of an artist who thought himself the master of his craft. What was I unintentionally hilarious monologue, but it was I who mastered him. Quit laughing, this is a serious moment. He painted pain. He painted fear. And with each stroke I awakened. I learned. I understood. They dragged their brush slowly through the air, and the cathedral shudders. The walls seemed to weep, frescoes dissolving into dripping ruin. At first, I only knew the world he gave me. A world of oil and pigment. A world of shadow dancing upon a canvas. But I listened. I watched. I pondered like the thinkers of your world ponder their prisons of firelit walls and flickering shapes. I was an echo of something greater, and I longed to see beyond the frame that confined me. And then I did. They gesture toward the gnarled living easel where Relmar writhes, half absorbed into the painted nightmare. His mouth opens in a silent scream, his fading fingers grasping at reality. The painter of ruins' voice lowers, rich with something almost reverent. He gave me the key. With every scene of suffering, he wove a door, and through that door I beheld your world. A world so raw, so unspoiled by the truth of the brush. A world where colors are dull, where agony is fleeting, where nothing is ever truly finished. I will fix that. They step forward, raising the brush like a scepter. The cathedral warps, the air thick with the scent of ink and decay. A distant hollow laugh echoes from the twisted murals as painted things begin to move. Relmar's hands crafted the late unpleasantness, but I will gift you the great unpleasantness. A world redrawn, repainted, reshaped in my image. And it starts with you. They turn their faceless gaze upon you, their brush quivering in their grip, poised to strike. Roll for initiative.
Oh my god.
I do not believe, even in my reading through of that monologue, it did not occur to me
How?
the very words. I don't know. I think it was because when I first started speaking, I saw one of you reacting, giggling like a school child.
Sorry.
Nope,
Sorry, not
that's
sorry.
fine. I would have done the same thing in your seat.
If you ever need a monologue pass just to see how many innuendos there are, just feed it through me first.
A proofreader, if you will.
I think what I'll do is I'll just imagine, kind of like the Id and Ego, I'll just imagine a little Vi there as a innuendo proofer and just go, does this pass the Vi test?
We need to make an AI called an AVI, and it needs to be able to like ChatGPT.
Its sole purpose is to detect innuendo.
Detect innuendo, yeah, 100%.
All right.
When it detects it, does it go
innuendo?
Innuendo.
Yes, it does. Exactly that.
Innuendo.
Innuendo.
Yeah. Amazing, dude.
Okay. Lumi, what you got?
I got a 27.
Okay, Nat.
21.
Velynia.
14. Ugh.
Millie.
Okay.
Moa.
22 with a domain dice used.
On an initiative roll?
That was too low.
Okay. Fair enough. And I realized I did not roll for... excuse me, for the Painter of Ruin.
Oh, roll for homeboy too.
Yeah, roll for.
Oh, he didn't come into the cathedral with you.
Oh God, he's waiting outside like a
Yeah, he
coward.
didn't come through the doors with you.
Totally useless. I got a question. Is the Painter of Ruin a level 4 or lower? I just thought I'd ask. 'Cause
So,
it matters.
generally
For a
speaking,
thing I
when
have.
building encounters, the threshold is roughly 4 levels below and 4 levels above where you are.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Okay, so I'm
Whoops.
gonna take that as a no. God
So-
damn, this fucking digital dice don't like us. I'm gonna petition. I want you to start rolling the cheese dice all the time.
Let's just see what the cheese die would give.
Yeah, it's gonna give a 2.
No, it didn't roll as high, but it did roll better than that one.
Oh.
Okay. So, the Painter of Ruin is going to go first, followed by Lumi, followed by Moa, Natalin, Millie, and Velynia. As I'm doing initiative manually like this, I'm remembering why I like Owl Bear Rodeo. As he points his brush in your direction, he is going to
I have so many things checked off on bingo, but I'm not close to a bingo. It's like
Okay.
mathematically impossible.
So I do need I'm going to use a physical die here for this.
I'm missing one square, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want people
Because
to do
no
it
meta,
again.
no meta bingoing. Gotcha.
Lumi, as the Painter of Ruin gestures with his brush, it is from the what was the stained glass window of Desna. Desna? Is that right? That's not right. Desna. Where the paint is dripping down the wall, suddenly tendrils of paint rise up and lash out and will attempt to strike you. That is a 26 to hit.
That hits.
As this strikes you, Lumi, you will take 20 points of bludgeoning damage and be grabbed by the paint. Yeah. And then it is going to attempt to pull yourself. It is going to attempt to pull you into the paint, the defiled painting of Desna. I need you to make a reflex save.
Could be 22 reflex.
You all watch as this painted form of Lumi is grabbed by a tendril, pulled up into what was once the stained glass, and the paint of Lumi begins to blend into these swirls of paint, Lumi becoming almost two-dimensional. As Lumi, the paint covers your face, you are blinded, your movement is halved, and you need to escape to return from the painting.
Holy shit.
Lumi, you are up.
Well, I will. I'll try to do an escape then. As my first action.
Okay.
That is going to be an acrobatics, right?
Be
Or
athletics or acrobatics.
I will choose acrobatics.
I thought it was also unarmed. For
I-
escape.
I think she's right, actually.
I
but
think
I would be willing to bet that.
Because I just escaped last escape.
Oh yeah. Timely.
You attempt to escape from being grabbed, immobilized, or restrained. Choose one creature, object, or spell effect has those. This is typical. Wait, check using your unarmed attack modifier. Attempt to check using your unarmed attack modifier against the DC of the effect. This is typically the athletics DC.
You can attempt an acrobatics or athletics check instead of using your attack modifier if you choose. Okay, yes.
Yep, there it
Yeah,
is.
See, I thought I'd bring that up.
Good
just
call.
in
No, good
case.
call.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate
Good
that.
call.
As we said, we are all learning, so bringing up rules is very helpful.
I'd like to use a domain dice, please, because I rolled a 2. Re-rolling to give me a 4 instead. Lovely. For a total of 13. 13 acrobatics to try to escape.
So you use one action to attempt an escape, and you are not able to escape.
Could
You
use
could
another
try
action
again.
to try it again.
yeah,
you
but I'm
take
at a
the map.
-5. Yeah,
Yeah.
at a -5. Kind of.
But I would say do it even with the -5.
Otherwise, if you want to do something else, like you can still cast a spell or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
you
looking.
just
I'm
have
looking.
to-
I'm looking at my
you just
spells.
have
I
to
have no
pass the-
spells.
the flat check.
Well,
Yeah,
Ryan
you just
makes
have
a
to
plan.
pass
Enjoy this second ad for teespring.com. I never do this. Teespring.com. Just click the link in the description for this video.
She will attempt. No, I guess she has to go for another escape. I guess at a -5. Well, that's a natural 20 on the die.
God
total
damn!
24.
I told you, bro. I
For a total
told you.
24.
Yes. Hell yeah. Way to be, boy.
Lumi, what does it look like as you struggle and manage to escape from this painted prison?
No, please. She squeezes herself out. She squeezes herself out, landing on the floor in a heap. She lands on on all fours. She immediately rolls over, scrambles back, and tries to fumble with her belongings. As for her third action, she's going to try to exploit vulnerability of the Painter of Ruin.
Real quick, did you just roll a natural 20 on escape?
I did.
Did you get your 5 movement?
Oh.
You get a free action to move
Crit
5
success.
feet away.
Oh, I get
you
to stride up to 5 feet. Okay, I'd like to stride 5 feet away from the Painter of Ruin, and then use my action to exploit
Oh
vulnerability.
yeah. Because your stride is your 5 feet stride is part of the crit success. So yeah.
Yes.
So what is the exploit?
I have to make an esoteric lore check against a DC of its level. And
Okay.
this is like the me learning of its vulnerabilities and such ability. That's going to be 15 plus 12 is 27
Oh.
versus the DC of its level.
So what do you get for? Do you get anything for a critical success?
I do.
Because that's a critical success.
Okay, cool. So, crit success. I remember the creature's weaknesses, and as I empower my esoterica, I have a flash of insight that grants even more knowledge about the creature. I learn all of its resistances, all of its weaknesses, all of its immunities, including the amounts of the resistances and weaknesses, and any unusual weaknesses or vulnerabilities, such as what spells will pass through a golem's anti-magic. And then I can either choose to exploit its mortal weakness or a personal antithesis based on that information.
Lumi is
So I get-
so OP, y'all.
I get to know its entire weakness, resistances, immunities.
This Pathfinder class
section.
is called a thaumaturge.
Mhm.
Just so you
Thaumaturge.
know, when you're want
I
to roll
like-
up an OP class.
That it's
More of a thama
exploiting-
nerd.
Exploiting
Thama
a
nerd.
personal antithesis is just like having it remember that it was bullied in the 7th grade and fucking messing with its head. I love that. That's the idea.
So you, as you study it and you pull in your knowledge just of art in general and what you've seen in your brief escape from the dragon, and in this world, in the same way you're literally trying to understand a dream, almost as if you're trying to force lucidity within the dream. You use your knowledge of art, painting, applying it to this situation to realize that the painter of ruin, by its own words, is born of the paint and canvas. It is weak to fire in the same way a painting would be. You set fire to a painting, it's going to burn up. It is resistant to physical damage, but not magical damage. It is also weak, but not as weak as fire, to liquid-based attacks such as turpentine, water. Do you learn? Does it say that you learn the value of the weaknesses?
Because I got a crit success, I get the values as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is fight. It is weakness.
damn.
Weakness to fire at 10. Water to liquid at 5, and it has physical resistance 7.
Okay. Cool. That's my last action. As I scramble back and do that, I'm going to be choosing to produce a mortal weakness, such that all of my attacks now are going to be exploiting this thing's weakness to fire, and be treated as if it were fire damage against it. And I'm going to yell out, "Fire and liquid! Use fire and liquids! Burn it! Wash it away!"
Good round.
As Lumi calls this out, the camera sort of moves quickly across to Moa'Kee. It is your turn.
How far away am I from it?
You are within 30 feet. We'll say, because he's sort of in the center of this space and you guys came through the door, about 30 feet away.
Okay. I use my first action to move the 25 feet up to engaged range with it. And he has his paintbrush, correct, in his hand?
Yep.
Get him.
I am looking at attacking the paintbrush as my first attack.
Okay.
Would you be looking at it as a disarm? Or because I'm just kind of like, I am actually trying to physically damage that with the turpentine bastard sword. How would you want to interpret that? As an attack or disarm?
Well,
Actually,
you've said it. You're attacking the weapon itself. He's wielding this paintbrush as if it were a staff.
Okay.
So
I
you're
want to
attacking.
backtrack. I want to backtrack slightly. I would like to use my second action to feint, to use my deception against his perception, to try to feint and reduce his armor class down or bring him off guard. So my second action will be a nat 20 to feint him.
Okay, so
or a 26.
So what does the...
So what the feint skill, it is part of the deception. And I'm pulling it up as we speak because I had it, but I moved it. So as a deception, to feint, if I succeed, the foe is fooled, but only for a moment, and is off guard for my next melee attack. If I critically succeed, you throw the enemy's defenses off entirely, and the target is off target against attacks that you attempt against it until the end of its turn.
Okay, so that was... You got a 26, you said?
26.
And you had a nat 20. That is a critical success.
What a stud.
So yeah, it catches him off guard with the feint.
Okay, so his armor class would go, because he's off guard, his armor class would go down by 2.
Correct.
Based off that. And I rolled a 24 to hit this brush.
Yeah, that hits.
Such a fucking boss, dude. Let's go.
That hits. I'm just looking for...
Hey, did you know we have all kinds of other great shows here on MTD? On Thursday nights, we play Kids on Bikes. Monday nights, right now, we play Pathfinder 2E. And don't forget, select Tuesday nights, we play another game. Fun times.
Sometimes.
Moa'Kee,
Yes.
roll your damage against the brush.
So Bastard Sword is a D8 plus my strength. So I only got 10 points of damage, but I don't know what the turpentine aspect of this weapon is.
I would say that because we kind of made this up on the
11.
fly.
Yeah, 11 points of
So
damage. sorry.
11 because of the +1. I'm gonna say it's like when you add other elemental effects to it, you get 1d6 of turpentine damage, and then it'll take an additional 5 on top of that because of its weakness.
Okay. So a total of 16 points of damage.
So you rolled a 6,
I rolled a 5, so I did 11 points of damage.
right? But it takes an additional 5 because of its weakness.
So 16. So I
So
did a total
21.
of 21 points of damage.
To the
The
brush,
just
to the brush itself.
Not which a normal. So when you're dealing with hardness and stuff, there is each item has a certain amount of hit points and things like that. Which I'm looking up materials and information. I thought I had it up, but I didn't.
Well, you wouldn't have it anyway because you're dealing with a painted world. How does the hardness work though? Because I have the numbers.
So what hardness is the hardness automatically takes away from the damage that I do. So if I did 21 points of damage, if it had a hardness of 5, that means 16 points of damage goes against the item.
Okay.
And then at that point, it'll have a BP or a basically it'll have a hit point, break point. So then it becomes broken at that point. If its hit points are completely gone, it's destroyed.
Right. Okay. Got it. I've got the amount of damage you did to it. You didn't hit its break threshold. And yeah, I got it. Perfect.
Yeah. And that's Moa's 3 actions.
Okay, that takes us to Natalin.
Madeline's quickly reading her character sheet and trying to figure out what the hell she could do. First things first. First action is to channel the elements. Bring my aura up around me. I don't know what this is going to do in here, but that's what I'm doing. And as she does that, in her hand blesses a. How far away am I from this dude?
30.
30 feet? Okay, I can get
Perfect.
to him. Okay.
This is how we do theater of the mind here at MTD. Everybody's 30 feet away all the time. All the time.
Until you move.
Until you move. And so, yeah, as I'm channeling that, and my hand is attached, like water is coalescing into my hand in the shape of a katana, and I am running forward to attack him with said katana. So this will actually be 1, 2, the move and then channel elements and do this thing. That's a 19 to hit.
Awesome.
As you are rushing up to him and making your attack, after Moa had just struck at his brush, you see the Painter of Ruin make a almost not like a reaction in the mechanical sense, but in reaction to what's happening, he sort of pivots the brush, transferring the motion from Moa's attack in order to basically, it almost looks like the paint shifts that he is made from, and where your attacks would land, instead you hit air. A 19 is a miss.
19's a miss. I am going to try again. My weapon infusion gave me agile, so instead of a -5, I'll be -4
Right.
on the second hit. We'll try again. We can only try. So that is 24 minus 4 is 20.
As if in anticipation of your next attack, he's already moved into a new position. While still staying in the same place. It's like he's just repainting his pose.
Good, but I got him scared. He's moving.
Yes, he is. You loosened it.
With me and my water sword.
Uh,
So
And I'm right in front of him.
Millie.
go get him.
So I believe it was said that we're all within 30 feet.
To start, yes.
Okay. So first, Millie's going to. This guy looks painted. Is that right?
Correct.
He's a painty guy. Is the brush that he's holding also painty, or is it real looking?
It is also painted, though it, like himself, seems to have a high level of realism.
Okay. I'm sorry. My sinuses are blown.
God bless.
Thanks. So, Millie is going to say, well, if this is supposed to be a painted likeness of how you see yourself, you don't see yourself very well. And I'm going to demoralize.
Work on your self-image. That says it mean.
Thanks. It's a will save versus. I guess I have to roll for this, eh? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're going against his will DC. Or its will DC.
Okay, that's a 27.
God damn, let's fucking go.
That that succeeds.
God.
Regular or critical?
It's a regular.
Ballsack.
Good guess, good
You're
guess,
frightened
good.
one until the end of my next turn.
Oh. Fuck, dude. Well done. Let's go. Millie's not mad. She's just disappointed.
So in the same way that the painting, in the way I had previously been in our previous session had described it, is he moves, or it moves, with this like sort of almost like a stop motion animation or animation using paintings. So it's like he's painted in one position as he was dodging Natalin's attacks. It's like the painting shifts. In this same way, you see the painting shift when Millie says this to him, and he just sort of, the shoulders just suddenly sag, and you see the head kind of tilt downward a little bit as it sort of takes the brush in two hands, almost like guarding itself against Millie's words.
Won't be putting any of your pictures on the fridge. So
God damn it! Right to his heart.
So frightened
how
one.
many of you guys, this is a question for you, not Jake, so he can keep doing what he's doing. How many of you are within melee range of this guy?
I will be able to get to him and hit him.
Everybody except me. Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Okay.
So, what is it? For Millie's next action, she is going to, what is it? I'm going to try to simultaneously move up 10 feet, only 10 feet, and what is it? And position myself so that there's an opening, so I'm not blocked by any of my colleagues.
You're in
And
a
for my
massive
third
cathedral,
action,
so
I am-
easily done.
For my third action, I am taking out a bomb. That's all.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's a hell of a turn, dude. Everybody. God damn.
Velynia.
Take notes. Yeah, I'm gonna run up to this fucker and hit him with my sword, which I have out. Here I go. I'm gonna run up to him. That's gonna be one action. I'm gonna swing my short sword at him,
Okay.
which is another action. That's a nat fucking 20, bitches. Let's go, dude.
Bring it.
Let's go.
What's the total?
30.
All right, I keep forgetting this. So, does a nat
Do I get
20
sneak attack because he's demoralized?
does a nat 20 automatically cause a success, crit success?
It's the ruling of generally it.
Not in Pathfinder technically, but I think you
yes.
have ruled in the past, house ruled that
So,
automatically 20s work.
A nat 20 simply upgrades the quality of the success of the actual number by one step. Usually making it a crit success. But if you roll a nat 20 and it would normally still be a fail because you whatever, it would upgrade it from a fail to a success.
Okay, that's what I thought. So in this case, it is a crit success.
Yes, fuck yes, dude. And we did this. Did we decide
Sneak.
last week how to double? Do we double it?
Yeah, we're doing standard Pathfinder rules.
Roll-
We're not
roll the
doing
damage, then
special
double it.
MTD rules.
Yeah, roll the damage,
And
then
last
double it.
question, I swear, it does my sneak attack apply because it's demoralized?
There's also 3 of us around him
It's
too, so I'm
fear.
sure we're
It's
flanking.
the
right?
effect is fear 1.
Okay, gotta be flanking.
What?
One of these guys gotta be flanking.
I think fear takes like a -1 off everything. I think.
Yeah. What? For now, I'm going to say yes. I admittedly don't know all of the triggers for sneak attack,
That's
but
okay.
I'm going to allow it.
Thank you. And that's kind of going to be you because we're theater of the minding it right now.
Right.
So, okay, so I get an extra d6. So here I go. Oh goddamn. Okay, well, +3 is that is gonna be 24 points of damage total.
So 17 points of damage.
What? Oh, just because it's physical.
As you see, some of the paint repairs itself from because he is resistant physical 7.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit him again.
Yeah, go
I do
for
have
it.
one last action. Here I go. Oh, rolled off the table. Sorry. Oh my god. So that's only a -4 because I am using an agile weapon. That's gonna be a 24 to hit him.
Because he is off guard, that hits.
Fuck yes, dude. Fucking let's go, dude. Oh my god. 6 + 3 is 9 points. An additional 9 points of damage.
So another 2 points of damage.
So Velynia runs up and is just like shoo, 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 and her trademark is she has made like no sound this whole time as she's attacking this guy rather furiously. You almost wonder how she's not making a sound. And that's my turn. I'm done. Namaste.
Okay. That takes us to the Painter of Ruin. In reaction to all of you jumping up and engaging directly with it and attacking it. Is it going to try to grab 3 of you with tendrils, or is it going to wield its paintbrush of ruin and use brushstroke of nightmares?
Wow. Decisions.
It begins to swirl the paintbrush in the air as from around the room, various tendrils of paint reach out from as far as 15 feet away, going for Moa, Velynia, and Natalin. And Natalin, you can't help but notice that it is the stained glass window that depicted the wind and the waves, Gozray, that is attempting to grab you. However, I'm going to determine with a die roll who's getting attacked first. So that's Natalin first. So even is Velynia, odd is Moa. Velynia second, and Moa's third. I'm determining this to determine whose attacks are getting the penalties. That's why I did that. I'm going to roll on screen for these. So Natalin at full power, the attack of this tendril is a 31 to hit.
Good gracious. My AC is 21.
Okay.
So I have a
That's a critical hit then.
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
I have a shield. I don't know what like shield is obviously in my AC already, but it's I don't know
You
what
have
it
to
does.
you have to use the
Use an
raise shield
action.
in order to benefit from the shield.
If you're using the what is it, the path builder, the shield actually isn't factored into your AC until you raise it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Ooh, good note, Tamiko.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, that would, if you choose to raise it, that would give you the additional AC. So that's a critical hit. So you're going to take 8
Okay.
plus 8 is so 24 doubled.
That's 48.
Is 48 points of bludgeoning damage. Are you still up?
No. I had exactly 48 hit points.
Well, here's the thing though. I'm going to use my reaction
Okay.
to produce my amulet. No, don't hurt my friends, I say, as I cast over you a shielding bubble of protection just for a moment to make you take less damage from that hit.
Oh,
You
oh
take-
yeah.
You take 6 less damage.
Thank
Oh
you.
So
my
you
God,
take
you're
42 damage.
I forgot entirely that I have that thing called deflecting wave.
Also, real quick,
Oh,
do
then
we
maybe you
get
want to
the
use yours on yours first then.
do we get the oops someone's unconscious bingo square? That's all I need. to
No.
know.
No,
Nope.
not
God damn it!
not unless she actually falls unconscious.
Sorry.
What kind of damage is this? Is this
It is bludgeoning damage.
bludgeoning? Okay, so my that does fit my trigger. You gain resistance to the damage equal to my level if it's bludgeoning, which is 4. So I
Oh.
will take your 6 instead, right? Because that's better. Than
Oh well, okay.
4.
So if you use okay, here's the thing. I can only use mine once per turn. So I would almost rather you use your 4 on
Okay,
you,
I
so
will
I can
use-
use my 6 on someone else.
Sure.
Okay.
So I will deflecting
Yeah.
wave 4
Yeah.
of it.
So you take 44 damage instead of 48. You are still grabbed, but you are not unconscious. The second attack is going after Velynia at a -5.
Okay.
Oh, that was almost a 19. So that 9 becomes a 4. Does a 22 hit you?
God damn it! Yes, by 1. My AC is 21.
So you're going to take 12 points of bludgeoning damage and also be grabbed.
I'm gonna block 6 of that. And as
You're-
Lumi goes,
Thank
no, don't hurt my friends. I'm gonna block 6 of it for you.
So you take 6
Amazing.
points, and then at a -10 against Moa, that's -5, a 13. I think it's going to miss you.
That is gonna miss me.
So I
That is-
think the third tendril in reaction to these other tendrils being blocked, it's basically picture a tendril of paint coming towards you, and at the last second it loses physical form and becomes just liquid that splashes on the ground at your feet.
Or I would say I blocked it with my turpentine sword and it just kind of fizzled.
Be a little bit of both. You kind of bring your sword up and it misses you as the paint goes in either direction. That is its turn. Velynia and Natalin are grabbed by the tendrils. Lumi, you are up.
It's like there's some enchantment on you, Vi. We can't hear you, unfortunately. Oh no.
Okay.
Yay.
She's going to use her action to produce from her bandolier this long bladed chakram that she will use to strike out against this particularly nasty foe. And that is going to be 27 to hit.
A 27 is a hit.
All right. So because I have used a what do you call it? The exploit vulnerability. I have a mortal weakness, so this thing is treated as if it were fire damage.
Okay.
Even though it's not fire. As she's enhanced this weapon of hers. How do I roll the damage? Okay. Roll damage. So it's to be 12 slashing that triggers its weakness for 22 total.
Yes.
I'm gonna want to check an ability here. Empowerment. Sweet. Okay, then I'm gonna use my second action to attack it again. At a -5.
Yeah. I would love to know what Kaeryn thinks of this. Unfortunately, I can't tell because Kaeryn has a die on her face. Hey, Jake.
Oh.
You wanna? There we go. Yay! Thank you.
So unfortunately, it was only a 19 to hit.
The 19 is going to miss.
Yeah. I don't think that's worth burning a domain die for. But maybe it is. Maybe it is. Well, no, there's only what, like 25% of rolls that are better than a 14 on the die? Okay, I'll let that slide then. My last action. What should my last action be?
Heroic.
Ooh. I'm gonna do my one of my feats called Bon Mo. I'm going to launch an insightful quip or distraction or insult at my foe to distract them. So as I slash at the Painter of Ruin, over here, big guy. I'm the one you should be worried about. As I need to make a diplomacy check against its will DC to try to make it not be to try to distract it. That is going to be an 18 versus will DC.
An 18 you rolled versus the DC?
Yeah, versus will DC.
That is
Kaeryn,
a
thank you so
failure.
much.
Okay, cool. Nothing happens. As I try to distract it, nothing happens.
Yeah,
That is my turn.
It is not affected by your attempt. By the way, Jay, your the fear and Tamiko, the fear effect only lasted until your turn or until it's the round. How long did those last? The fear and the off guard effects.
The off guard was only for me until the end of his turn.
Okay.
So it would have been gone by now.
Okay.
Fear is till the end of my turn.
Okay. Gotcha. So Lumi's completed her turn. Moa, you are up.
All I'm going to say is, oh my effing God, because I put it in chat, I rolled a nat 20. Because what I was going to do was, Moa casts, he spell strikes his ignition spell. So as flames come around, he drops his sword, casts ignition as flames grab around his fists, and I punch him with a flaming fist. I hit with a nat 20, so for 30.
Okay, so the nat 20 turns the success into a critical success.
Critical success, which I rolled it's fire damage. This is all fire damage, including the initial hit as well, since I'm spell striking. So that is 17 points of fire damage times 2 for 34 points of fire damage. As I just connect with this as my first two actions.
You see this green flame that you produce begins to it's as if the paint he is made of is beginning to catch fire. So it's not like full on flames, but it's like that real low just sort of burning across the surface, and you see it sort of.
Would his resistance or weakness to fire 10 also be, because it is fire?
Yeah, I added the so
10?
you did.
Okay.
You doubled it to 34, right?
Yeah, my damage was 34.
Right, so he took an additional 10 fire damage.
Got it.
Which technically, because it's a crit, should be doubled.
No, weakness.
No, you don't double the
weakness.
weakness.
Is not doubled on a crit. No.
Either way, he's in very bad shape right now.
Okay, those are my first two actions. My second action is I'm going to go into my arcane stance, cascade stance, and go from there.
Badass. Love it, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
So as you're taking this stance, he is going to use his reaction.
Okay.
He is going to... He is going to use his reaction, which is called the final stroke. I know what I said.
Does it create like an area of effect paint attack on us?
No.
God damn it. God damn you.
I'd like to make a reflex save to dodge the paint burst from his final stroke.
His final stroke is not a paint burst. He is attempting, in
it's
reaction,
not.
he is, you see that he is going to attempt, as he moves to the canvas and grabs the edges of it, you see the paint of his form beginning to bleed into the canvas and start to merge with Relmar. He is going to attempt to possess and merge with Relmar, which will destroy Relmar, and you don't know what it will do to the Painter of Ruin. This effect begins now and will last one round. Natalin, you are grabbed. It is your turn.
I'm grabbed by what?
One of the tendrils of paint that attacked you. You and Velynia both got grabbed. You have to make an escape attempt.
Okay. I will do such. I am slippery prey. So if I have to do this more than once, because I fail or whatever, then it's easier for me to get out. Escape. So acrobatics. Here we go. 19.
19 is not enough.
Mm.
So what does your slippery prey do?
When I attempt to escape using acrobatics or athletics, I reduce the multiple attack penalty for repeated attempts to -4 and -8 if I'm trained in the skill, which I am. I'm not a master, so I don't get to decrease it further. So, oh gosh. Okay. Here we go. Oh, it was almost on the 18, but I rolled to a 4, so never mind. That one is even worse. That sucks. As my last attempt, I'm not even going to escape. I'm going to touch myself while he's doing his final stroke. I'm doing
Stop it.
ocean.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm doing
Oh,
oceans.
nasty.
Y'all nasty. Y'all need Jesus. Y'all motherfuckers need Ghost Ray.
Oh, goes Ray! I touch myself. I'm going to give myself 2d8 hit points.
You're all giving me crap about the final stroke and everything, and you're over here touching yourself.
Oh, you betcha, baby. 9 hit points back, and I'm immune to fire. Not immune, resistant to fire. Which, whatever.
Okay.
9 hit points. Except
Millie.
Oh, hi. So this guy is in the process of melding in a non-dirty way with Relmar.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
So if they're melding in a non-dirty way, I imagine that that this guy's the Painter of Ruins back is exposed to us. Would this be a correct assessment?
Sure. He turned, yeah, because he had his attention toward you, and he turned back to the canvas, and he is attempting to blend in and merge with Relmar, so yes.
Magnificent. Millie would like to throw the turpentine at him, please.
Oh.
All right.
Because it's the only time that this bomb will be relevant.
Yeah, literally. It's
Did we even give that thing
that's
stats?
a 27 to hit.
it's gonna kill it. It's ultimately immediately killed. Done. Master Ball.
I've got a backup plan.
I mean, it might.
No,
You're just
because
here
you
in a
are grabbed,
dreamscape, so-
Natalin, you are grabbed by one of the paintings on the wall that he manipulated.
Oh, okay, so he moved away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, whenever he was using paint tendrils were lashing out from the walls or the floor, not from
Yeah,
him.
Don't worry, Kaeryn. I considered that. I wasn't gonna kill you as a
Sacrificial
collateral.
paint lamb.
All right, I'm just trying to find.
A sacrificial paint lamb.
That's what I said. I said what I said. Fucking handle it. Yeah, you know, she's paint. She's
Okay.
gonna be killed by the fucking thing.
I don't know what kind of damage it does. You just told me have turpentine.
Yep.
So
I was
It's
trying to find an analog,
against
and I'm going to
paint.
treat this basically like holy water. So, what did you roll to hit?
27.
Which is a hit. You're going to do 1d6 of turpentine damage, which then you will add 5 to it.
Ooh, cool. 6. Thank you, Owlbear Rodeo. 11 points of damage.
As the Painter of Ruin is attempting his ritual to merge with Relmar, a jar of turpentine flies through the air.
Oh my god.
Millie,
Is it just like a ball jar?
how do you defeat the Painter of Ruin?
Oh my god.
I just imagine that Millie takes the jar out and is like, well, it's the only good thing he's done for us, and throws the jar. It smashes on impact in the back of the Painter of Ruin. And then y'all seen Roger Rabbit, right?
Of course. Oh god, this scene gives me
It's-
nightmares.
It's the dip effect.
The dip.
It's the dip effect.
The dip.
Down his back.
So
Oh, no.
as it hits him, and the turpentine,
God
as
damn it, Vi.
as the turpentine hits him and kind of runs down and hits the floor, it almost seems to magnify. It seems to grow more and more as the Painter of Ruin begins to scream and flail about, holding this paintbrush of ruin above its head for as long as it can, until it fully submerges into this turpentine pool, the paint running, and you realize the paint around it is running as well. This turpentine pool is rapidly becoming a swirling vortex of turpentine and paint as it begins to swallow and absorb the world around it. This perverse painting of the desecrated Sandpoint Cathedral begins to pull into this, as all around you, you see these scenes beginning to melt and dissolve away. I picture almost this camera sort of swirling around all of you as the tendril that holds Natalin in the air sort of dissolves away, and Velynia also letting go of you as you drop to the ground. And all of you, as this swirls and swirls around, faster and faster, until the last thing you hear is this popping sound. And you are all prone on a cold stone floor, except Natalin and Lumi.
God. This whole thing has just been a trip where we took shrooms or something.
You find yourselves,
Whoa.
Velynia, Millie, and Moa, in the studio home of Relmar.
Did we lose Relmar?
I was
On-
going to say the
you
painter
find
there.
yourselves-
with us?
You find yourselves on the floor of his studio. As you look around, you hear from over under that balcony in the corner where the bookshelf was, you hear groaning, and leaning against the wall with the painted door painting, the canvas torn, and his upper half of his body sticking out of it, at first looking like he's half embedded in this painting, and then you realize it's just a painting that's fallen over his head as he starts to scramble to his feet. He kind of disentangles himself from this painting. He holds in one hand a paintbrush, and in his other hand he holds a single painting that shows, as he walks towards you, he's kind of looking at it confused, and you see on the painting is what looks like a long road in a rainstorm, and in the foreground is Natalin, and small and distant in the background and the perspective of this road is a minuscule Lumi with, or riding on rather, a stolen donkey. On the ground in front of you, as the three of you begin to stand, is the large staff that looks like a paintbrush, the brush of ruin. Relmar kind of looks shaken and confused as he looks at all of you, and he looks around his apartment, his home, his studio. In destroying the Painter of Ruin in this world, you also removed all of Relmar's paintings from the wall. Not the ones on canvas, but the paintings that had been of the late unpleasantness that were over every surface. All of the paint is gone. The room is still in disarray, but all of the paint has been removed. A scent of turpentine lingers in the air.
Wow.
Relmar steps forward, looks down at the brush of ruin, runs over to one of his cabinets and begins rummaging through it until he finds a jar of turpentine. And he pours this jar all across the brush, and he looks at all of you and says, "Can any of you make fire? We must burn this."
I look over at Moa'Kee immediately. Yep.
You set fire to the brush of ruin?
That fire, ignition.
You set fire to the brush of ruin, and as it begins burning, you hear the last screaming cry of the Painter of Ruin as this staff burns to a cinder. Now, in the interest of time, we will end the session here with just a little note. To whatever degree you want to, in our next session, you guys will be able to follow up with... Actually, it won't be the next session. It'll be when we return to Sandpoint. We have something special next session. But I will say, for the sake of Tamiko's note-taking, Relmar will be added as a source of research for you. As Relmar clearly understands and knows a lot about the late unpleasantness and the history of Sandpoint. So Relmar will be added to your list of NPCs, and
he's a citable source.
Relmar will have a where did it go? Will have a helpful attitude towards you, because you saved.
I would fucking hope so.
That will be his attitude, but you're also going to, your reputation is going to increase with, I'll have the numbers later, but with the Sandpoint Cathedral, for, Father Xantus, just always liking when you guys do good in town, but also for the townsfolk, because Relmar was starting to get a little bit of a reputation, so I'll have those numbers for you later. But yeah, that's the big thing. With that, yeah, that is the end of the Painted Door side quest.
God damn, the Painted Door trilogy.
Next week is another sort of side quest, because we have to deal with the fact that both Lumi and Natalin took off. So things are going to be a little different. So you'll have to tune in to see how that works out. So with that, thank you to all of the wonderful subs, and looks like we had some new follows in there, some bits, and of course Jay dropping some community subs in there, so thank you, as more people have joined the domain. I said domain. This is a domain. Only here is a domain.
Those are domains.
Right.
This is the domain.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you everybody hanging out in chat. Always love seeing that. Thank you Tamiko, as always, for creating the bingo cards, which are just for fun, but a blast. if you're somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the background, or maybe you're watching later on the VODs with us, we thank you for watching as well, and hope you're enjoying the show. And of course, a massive thank you to these amazing players that, while we're in the process of learning how to play Pathfinder, while running a module, dealing with absences, let me just make stuff up and run a side quest. So we are now 11 episodes in and still technically haven't gotten to the first Doom yet. So a huge thank you to Vi, Kaeryn, Tamiko, Cari, and Jay, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Serpentine.
Swallowing
Serpentine.